Well, hello guys, Player, and today I'm back for another video, and today's video is another NUCL battle, and today we are in the week number 5. Our differential is 4-on-1. We are doing good, we are on the top, and if we manage to win this battle, we are even better. Our differential is 4-on-1, and well, today's battle is against Feria, aka Veerle, and this is an amazing girl. She is very sweet, she's really creative, so make sure to check out her Twitter. She has a really good team, a lot of dark types, so I was preparing for that, but she didn't bring any of her dark types, probably because I have a Hitmonchan which can deal with most of her dark types, and well, that's why I actually brought Hitmonchan and I brought these other Pokemon. So let's see how this battle goes, and if we might still be on the top after this battle. So let's start the battle. So I decided to lead off with my Simisear because I had a special move in mind for the Sandslash. I knew she would lead off with Sandslash because I did not have a reliable spinner in this team. And I run Solar Beam with the Power Herb. And I made this Simisear just especially for the Sandslash to be able to knock it out. And look at this. It just straight up kills the Sandslash. That is amazing. I'm really proud of Simisear for doing that. You made a good debut in this battle. But right here I thought my opponent would go for a Thunder Wave or try to set up Cosmic Powers or Calm Minds. But this is actually a Specs Musharna, as you can see from this damage. I looked up in damage calc, and if she was Life Orb or something else boosting item, it would have been able to knock myself out in one turn as well. So I didn't really feel like, I didn't know that she was Specs at this point, but I should have known after she switched out right here and stuff like that. So I go for the substitute right here, and there is some hacks in this battle, and most of that is not in my favor, but it doesn't really matter in the long run, to be honest. So I run a substitute Melamar, which is really decent. I really like it, and my opponent goes for the Facade right here, not wanting to lower its HP with Wild Charge. That is of course acceptable, and I go for the superpower, boosting up my defense. And I couldn't really find a Guts boost in damage calc. I don't know if it's there, but I'm not really experienced with damage calcs. But it did say that it would do around 30 to 35%, maybe 40 or 50. Well, I'm messing that up, but unfortunately enough, she got a crit, which really mattered. I would have lived that for sure. I would have probably lived 2 of those, and this was actually 2 speed ties as well, because Luxray is max speed, is base 70 speed, and my Malamar has base 70 speed as well, so I ran max speed, so it was a speed tie as well. So it was really unfortunate that those turns were really unfortunate, fortunately enough. But now I kind of feel like she would switch into the Poliwrath, so I predicted that. I went into my next top model, and I actually knew she would switch it to the Flareon, but I decided to play it safe and go for the Leaf Storm. I could have gone for the Hidden Power Rock, which I ran for, especially for this Leafeon. Luckily enough, my opponent did bring some Pokemon that I predicted her to bring, which really helped out in this match. So I know that I saw from the calcs that the Hidden Power Rock would definitely not be able to OHKO, so I have to do this at least 3 more times. She has to switch in 3 more times into a Leaf Storm before I can kill it with a +2 HP rock. But I go into my Quagsire, thinking that she would probably be physical or special. I couldn't really tell. So right here I think I went for the Protect, or I just went for the Scald. No, I think I switched it to my Noctowl because I saw that she was special, and there's always a possibility that she would have the Hidden Power Grass for Quagsire, of course. So now my opponent goes for the Ice Beam, and Noctowl is a beast, can take Ice Beams even though it's Life Orbed. It does a surprisingly amount of damage, but this Noctowl is not max speed, and I do miss my Toxic, which didn't really matter in the long run, but it's really annoying. So right here my opponent decides to switch out Poliwrath because she knows that I could deal with her. Pretty much I could just Roost stall her till death. So she switches into the Flareon, which is questionable because Flareon also can't OHKO Noctowl. Noctowl was a really important Pokemon this team, but here I make a misplay. I go for the Roost thinking that I would be able to get outspeed. So that was a misplay. I should have just gone for the Air Slash or Toxic. Probably Toxic would have helped me out much better. But unfortunately enough, I did not do that. So Now my opponent decides to switch out because she knows that she can't touch me. And she goes into the Polyref. So now I finally land my Toxic on this Polyref, which makes sure that Polyref is not staying in for too much turns, because she has the Life Orb and the Toxic damage will rack up. So that's good. So right here I knew that I could take 2 Ice Beams for sure. And I'm faster, so... Oh no, I'm not faster, but my opponent goes for the Scald and gets the burn. So there's a lot of little hacks on her favor. But I do get some crits later on in the game, but still it was really annoying to play with those hacks. And it has been bad the last couple of battles. It really was. The week 6 battle against Sky had also a lot of hacks, but in honesty it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't really change the result of the battle. So now she decides to switch out and go into her Lexus, the Luxray, and I went for the Air Slash, luckily enough, because I know that this damage is kind of necessary, because that means that Lexus can't attack more than 2 turns, which is good because of the burn damage. So now I decided to switch out, because I do still need my Noctowl around, because Noctowl is a really important Pokemon. So I go to my Quagsire, knowing that he will die after this turn, and she saw that coming, of course, miles away, and she went for the Facade, which was the best play either way, because the Facade would probably almost kill the Noctowl. I think it could have been able to live it, because I do run some defensive investments, because her team was mostly physically offensive, at least the regular sets, but Fairlip brought a lot of special attackers, which I didn't expect them to be special attackers in this team, which made Noctowl seriously useful this battle. So now I go for the Protect, seeing what she locks herself into, and I'm kind of feeling... I still don't know what item she's running, because it seems like she is locked into something, but... Well, I just don't know. So I just switch it to my Noctowl right here, knowing that I can take the hits, and she goes for the Fire Blast. I feel like she might be Assault Vest. Yeah, I feel like she does. But I do run the Protect on my Quagsire just for the nifty Hidden Power grasses around, just to scout it out. Because people always like to run that when they know that there is a Quagsire on the opponent's side of the team, of the field. So now my opponent goes into the Specs Musharna again, and this is such an MVP of her team. It was so annoying because this thing got too much power behind it. Normally these things are really bulky, and this Musharna is bulky as well, but this Musharna is especially offensive as well. So now I go for the Toxic because I need to rack some damage off it. I know Air Slash won't do nearly enough, and my opponent has the Synchronize, but luckily enough I am burned, and I prefer burned over Toxic, of course. So the Psychic does a lot of damage, and I just wish I had more special defensive investments on this Noctowl before the battle. If I would have known that she would have brought so many special attackers, I would have definitely done it, but unfortunately enough that was not the case. I ran I feel like mixed defense, special defense, a bit more special defense than defense, of course, because it's especially defensive wall. But I go for the Roost. I am stalling her out a little bit at this point, but it won't last long, because you guys will see that in a few turns. She will get the crit on the Psychic, which is unfortunate. I would have hoped that that would not have happened that early on, because I just needed some damage on the Musharna, so I could revenge kill it with almost anything on my team. So I decided to stall out, and she would switch at some point, because she will die from the Toxic, and that's not what people like to do. I feel like if she didn't get the crit on this turn or the next turn, I feel like it's this turn. Yeah, on this turn she would have probably switched out, because she wasn't going anywhere. But I feel like Noctowl would have been able to stall out most of her team actually, if that crit didn't happen. But it doesn't matter, to be honest, because I can switch into my next top model, knowing that I can take... I could do a lot of damage with Leaf Storm. So she will go back into the Flareon, unfortunately enough. And Flareon is really bulky on the especially defensive side. And I had to play it safe with Surfine, because she was kind of my winning condition. Once Flareon was gone, I could just sweep the team with Surfine. So I had to preserve Surfine. So I go to my Assault Vested into my assault vested Hitmonchan right here, and I know that I can outspeed it because I was the Nocturne was already faster than the Flareon. So now I just go for the Drain Punch, get some good amount of health back, yummy, because Poliwrath is really bulky and has a lot of HP, so that's really nice. Oh, I'm not assaulted actually, I am a Life Orb Hitmonchan this battle. So now my opponent's Poliwrath is down, which is good. It wasn't really a threat, but it's still annoying, and I got a lot of health back. So my opponent goes into the Lopunny and makes a good play because she goes for the switcheroo. I knew the Mach Punch was not able to kill, and I would like to get a lot of health back. I could have tried to kill it with a Mach Punch, but I didn't feel like it. I was actually thinking that she would go for the Fake Out, but luckily enough she did not. And I get a lot of health back, but unfortunately enough, because she gave me the Flame Orb, I am burned right now, which doesn't matter too much, but it is annoying. So now my opponent goes into the Musharna, and these are the last turns right now. We have I have a few Pokemon left. I have to sack off my my Quagsire because well, I don't have any use for it. It could take the Fire Blast from a Flareon, but it's not able to take in the Hidden Power Grass after that. So I needed to rack up some damage on the Musharna. That was really important, so I could go for the Leaf Storm and finish off this battle. But I had to play the safe. I knew that I had it in the back with these two mons, and I knew that I could possibly take out the Flareon at this point, but I still did not want to risk it because even after this crit, which didn't really matter in the long run, I knew that I was not able to kill it with an HP Rock, to be honest. So now I go to my Hitmonchan, knowing that Hitmonchan is especially bulky. Luckily enough, it can take the Fire Blast, which is really necessary. And I know that I'm faster, but what I should have done right here, to play it even more safe, I should have gone for the Fake Out and then go for the Drain Punch. Because as you guys can see from this damage, that would have easily taken out the Flareon, unfortunately enough. And that would have made the game a lot less scary, to be honest, because my opponent had to lock herself into the Psychic after that turn, and then I did not want to risk it. And right here I could have gone for the Leaf Storm, but I didn't want to risk it. And my opponent, wait, what happens here? My game, the video freezes. Okay, I'm sorry guys that you didn't see that, but I went for the HP Rock, not risking the miss, and right here she goes for the Signal Beam. I went for the Leaf Storm, was not able to kill her, and I lived that on 26 HP. Thank God Eviolite is a thing, and I can finish her off with a Leaf Storm, which was really good. Luckily enough, I managed to hit him, and if that didn't happen, I would have lost the game. But it was an amazing game against Veerle. The game was really intense, and the last turns were really intense. I had to make the right plays. I couldn't risk anything, because if I would have missed one Leaf Storm or made one bad play, I would have lost that game. But luckily enough, I didn't miss the Leaf Storms and didn't make a misplay and played it safe enough, which meant to be a really close 1-0 victory in my favor. A really good game. Veerle played really well, and well, it was just a good game, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We are now on a 4 wins and 1 loss streak. Now we are on a 3 win streak or a 2 win streak. At least we are on a streak, which is good, and we have to keep that going. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out the NUCL League if you're curious about the other players and how the other players are doing. And then I'll see you guys in my next video. Later.